Hi, my name is Scott Stansel Condren. Welcome to the podcast Grief, I Love Tim, Episode 10, Year 1. As I start to reflect on the 6-month mark of Tim's death, which is coming up in a few weeks, a lot rises to the surface. I recently talked about that I got a new primary care provider out here in the desert. When I filled out the intake forms, one of the questions was, do you live alone? It stopped me cold. I hadn't thought of myself in that way. Living alone. Not even in almost 6 months. And of course, the marital status box. Part of me wants to check married or scribble an X right through it because in my heart, I still am married. I think a lot about how we try to stratify grief. This is my sibling, this is my parent, my grandparent, my niece, my child, my spouse. And it's not that the loss of any one of those is less painful than the other. Grief is grief. But losing a spouse, what resonates for me is the longevity, the shared life woven into the smallest, most ordinary things. Tim and I wore so many of the same clothes. Basically, the only difference were pants and underwear. My legs were longer, or you could say his were shorter, so his pants on me were high waters, like we joked about in middle school. Hey bud, what are you doing, waiting for a flood? Don't want to get your pants wet? In his case, the pants would have gone down around the heels of his shoes. And we also didn't share suit jackets because I'm a little broader in the shoulders and chest. But just about everything else we passed back and forth. And now I'm cycling through all of these things he touched, folded, wore. So many printed t-shirts from our trips or causes we supported or events we did together. The ones that are in the drawer I still have barely touched. Even the ones I've worn carry memories. Tim did the lung cancer walk in this one, or I wore this at the AIDS walk, or we both wore this for a run to home base in Boston. The Marfa t-shirts. God, how we love that little place in Texas. So far out of the way, and we went there twice. Even once meeting friends who flew from Boston into El Paso, just to drive out and join us. Today at the gym, I was wearing a t-shirt from Angry James Brewing Company in Silverthorne, Colorado, a place that we used to stop. But we also have a grandnephew named James, and we thought it was funny, and we got the t-shirt. We didn't get him one because at the time we didn't think it was appropriate for a 3.5-year-old to be advertising a brewery. Going through the closets brings surprise landmines, like Tim's cufflinks tucked away because I really don't wear French cuffs, or stepping into dress shoes that are rarely used and realizing he was the last person that wore them. And then there are the reminders that come not from things, but from life itself. Songs, movies, books. A new song comes out, and I catch myself thinking, Tim would like this. Sometimes I cry. Usually I just get this ache, but the tears still come, especially in quieter times. Walking the dog in the morning, something Tim and I did often together. I miss the conversations. Or even sometimes when we didn't talk, it was just being together. I miss laughing with him about something we saw that was ridiculous. We live near one of the largest pickleball courts in the country, and let me tell you, we see a lot of ridiculous things. I miss sending him memes from Instagram or articles that I knew he would appreciate, or forwarding some breaking news about healthcare and how this was going to save people's lives. Those are the things you don't think about when you imagine missing someone. The absence inside the tiny daily exchanges. I had our grandnieces over this past weekend with their parents, 6.5 and 3.5-year-old, both girls, and they lift my spirits every time. We have a picture of Tim and our niece Erin at her wedding. She's throwing back her head in laughter, and he's laughing too. Our youngest grandniece said, "Who's that person with Tim?" And I said, "Oh, that's our niece Erin." She said, "She's not a niece. I'm a niece. She's big. I'm little." And I said, "Well, you know, your mom's my niece too." And she looked at me and just gave me this, her world expanding, and it made me laugh. Our youngest niece, the last of all of our siblings' children, is getting married in March. And all of Tim's expertise is going to be missed. The man knew flowers, what was in season, what could be substituted, what florists were trying to upsell. I can already hear him saying, "This venue is ripping off your sister and brother-in-law." People still can send me cards, texts, emails, telling me what Tim meant to them. And every time I'm grateful. But it also makes me miss him even more. He wasn't perfect, not by a long shot. He had his Hunter Biden phase before we met. And not everyone thinks he's wonderful. But the Tim I knew, he was a pretty damn good guy. Thank you for listening. And as always, be kind, be grateful, and have gratitude.